Drinking while driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
This wasn't just one DWI, it was two. One with a blood alcohol level so high it's nearly fatal. And when the judge finds out she may have broken her promise not to drive again, you won't believe what Judge Fleischer says next. Watch what happens when her patience runs out.
Please, on both.
Yes, Your Honor.
You said Treadwell, right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Page 18.
You were on bond for a DWI, and now you've picked up another DWI.
The judge isn't playing around. That's a Miranda warning, meaning things are getting real. She's officially in criminal territory. Now, not just traffic violations.
We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge. On October 23rd, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a major one-car vehicle accident in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with a witness who observed the motor vehicle had left the scene but was still blocking a moving lane of traffic and had struck a school zone signpost. The officer also observed the defendant's motor vehicle had crashed in the direction moving against the flow of traffic, and the witness identified the defendant as the driver. EMS saw the defendant in the driver's seat of the crashed vehicle with her feet sticking out and the engine still running. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and unsteady balance on the defendant's person, along with a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and general disorientation and slow responses. When asked about the accident, the defendant stated she may have fallen asleep but did not remember the crash occurring. The defendant admitted to drinking and consuming Adderall, and she said that she was the sole occupant and operator of the motor vehicle. The officers recovered 2 open alcoholic beverage containers from the passenger side floorboard.
Drinking while driving?
Yes, Your Honor. And 4 unopened containers. Standard field sobriety tests were performed, HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 8 out of 8, and 1 leg stand 3 out of 4. A blood warrant was drafted and executed.
And then, Judge, on the first DWI, the lab results came back as 0.286.
0.026.
A blood alcohol level of 0.286. That's not just drunk gets. For context, most states consider 0.08 legally impaired. She was over 3 times that.
0.206? Because there's a big difference. Is it 0.26?
Yes, 0.286. Yes, Judge. Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
That is a very high blood test.
Judge,
What do you think? Should the judge give her one more chance? Or is jail the only way to protect the public? Let us know in the comments below.
Fleischer's most hated crime is drunk driving, especially when it involves a crash that puts other people's lives in danger. Let's see what kind of sentence this woman is facing. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is she headed to jail, or will the judge show mercy? Honestly, if the judge even senses a lack of remorse or responsibility from this woman, she won't hesitate to hand down serious jail time. Let's just say, if you're in her courtroom with a DUI and someone could have died, you're already halfway to jail.
Can you run an NCIC? I'd like to know what other kind of criminal history she has, number 1. Number 2, did we have her sign a no driving affidavit on the first one? Because if she did, I'm going to have a contempt hearing.
I don't see a no driving affidavit on the file, Your Honor.
Yeah.
This is the hammer drop. Judge Flecher is revoking bond, laying down some of the strictest conditions we've seen. Curfews, no driving, ankle monitors, and more.
Well, her driver's license wasn't eligible, though, on the second DWI.
Probably because of the first and the ALR. Ms. Treadwell, I want you to be perfectly clear about something. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect the citizens of Harris County. Every single day, someone dies because of a DWI in Harris County. And I will do everything in my power.
Even if Jesus needs a ride, she can't drive, that's not just courtroom. Says it's a clear warning. Violate the order, and you're looking at contempt of court with real jail time.
To protect my city. And if that means putting you in custody because you repeatedly flaunt our bond conditions, so be it. Now I'm going to revoke your bond and I'm taking you in. And now, if you do get out, you will have a strict curfew of 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I'm forbidding you from going within a car at all. You will now be signing an affidavit, and if I find that you drive, and I don't care what your reason is, I don't care if Jesus comes down and tells you he needs to ride to church, you get into a car and drive, I will have a contempt hearing. Every time you get into a car.
This judge isn't just angry, she's disappointed. She's seen too many lives lost to DUI, and today, she's drawing a line before someone else ends up dead.
It's up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine. On one ankle, you will get a GPS monitor. On your other ankle, you're going to get a SCRAM device, so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. As it stands now, I'm revoking your bonds and I'm putting them both at $25,000. Do you understand? She goes with you. Come up. They can all come up.
Yeah, all y'all.
They can all come up. The more the merrier. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I wish it were under better circumstances.
Open DW is 3 different counties. She's not just skating on thin ice, she's already neck deep in the freezing water.
And I'm sorry that you guys are having to come here and deal with this, but better now than 6 feet under in a pine box, right? We've had a lot of issues with him. And I think that, I don't know, I mean, I guess you realize and the spiel that I give to everybody is that you watch the news, which I hope you do. Every day, someone dies in Harris County from a DWI. Every single day. We in Harris County lead the nation. We
Hold all conversations.
lead the nation in DWI fatalities because it happens so much. Is it because we have 4 million people here? I don't know. Is it because Harris County is 3 hours from one side to the other? I don't know. But that's what it is. And it's disgusting. And what scares me with him is he has 3 open DWIs in 3 different counties. That is extremely scary. And we're lucky that no one has been injured. A life has not been taken, because it could have gone so much worse. The reason that it's taking as long as it is because
What's a global deal? It's when attorneys negotiate across multiple charges or jurisdictions for a single resolution. It's tricky, but often faster than fighting every case individually.
he does not have, I'm presuming he doesn't have a lawyer in Nueces, right?
This time, that's correct, Your Honor.
If you guys are able to get a lawyer for him down there, hopefully that can speed up the process to get everything working. Because here in Harris County, we have so many cases, we have so many people in custody that we move it like crazy. We're very, very fast. We're a fast-moving criminal justice system here. Fort Bend is building their way up to being as big as we are. So they're a little bit slower, but in the other counties, in like Brazos and Nueces, Corsicana, and they do things a lot slower. So if you pick up a case, you may not go to court for 6 to 8 months, and then you start dealing with it. It looks like that's what's happening over there.
Did let the family know that even though they don't have a court date yet in Nueces, getting a lawyer down there, they can talk to the DA and they can start working on the case and talking to myself and the Fort Bend lawyer, trying to get a global deal done prior to any court date even being scheduled. Because I mean, the case is open and pending, and it's there. So that's where we are for now. But I think the bond in Harris County is the only thing keeping him from going home to his family. And so we're trying to figure out a way to see if the court would allow him to post maybe a lower amount for bond.
It scares me to let him out. It scares me to let him out. He's repeatedly shown us that he refuses to comply with bond conditions.
It's heartbreaking hearing a father plead for his son. But should love outweigh public safety? What would you do if you were the judge?
If I let him out, what's going to happen? Is he going to pick up a fourth? Well, I know you're going to say no, but history tells us otherwise.
Sam, but I see where you're going with that. But my son is a 21-year-old kid. He's still a kid to me. And he messed up 3 times. Yes, he did. But he's ready to come out and do right with society and do the way he's supposed to. He's going to come out. He's going to live with me. He was out there living in Corpus because he turned into a welder. And I never agreed with him. I told him, I said, I don't like that for you. I'm a roofing contractor. He's going to be living under my home. He's going to be staying with me. And I will be giving him a ride to wherever I need to take him to get his stuff straight. That's what I have, and that's what I want for him, and I know that's what he wants too. He's not a bad kid like that. He's not like what we're writing him off to be. And I see your position, and because you're telling me about all these fatalities and stuff, but that's not my son. Twice he was caught. He was parked. 150 times I tell you at AA that you're probably going to kill somebody. Of those 150 chances, he's got 2. He decided to stop and pull over and he didn't crash with anybody.